Okay, so suppose you find yourself with a quadratic equation such as this, and my oh my, this doesn't look pretty. Notice that you've got, don't forget these are your A, B, and C. A and B are the coefficients of the quadratic and linear variables there, respectively, and C is your constant. All right, I have no common factors of all three of these. 2 is even, and that is divisible by really 1 and 2, but neither of these are evenly divisible by 2, so I cannot factor that out. I don't have a 1 coefficient for A, so I cannot use the cross method. What do I do? Well, thankfully, there is a formula that we can use that will solve this problem. X equals negative b plus or minus, looks a little weird, the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And you can think of it this way, or, if you like, you can think of it in a song. The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. To the theme of Pop Goes the Weasel. Now, this is not too bad. Keep in mind that, first of all, there's an invisible set of parentheses around everything that's under a square root, a radical, if you will. Similarly, the numerator is also surrounded by invisible parentheses, as is the denominator. Very important if you should, for some reason, want to put all of this into your calculator at once. Generally, not always a good idea, but if you use your parentheses wisely, it is possible. One couple other things here. So this, we're going to actually add and subtract. This could result in two solutions, as we've seen with quadratics before. And this bit right here under the radical, I'm not going to talk too much about right now, but it is called the determinant, and it will help you determine a few things about what type of solution that you could get. So this is what we've got to work with right now, what we are using. And let me rewrite. I had 2x squared minus 5x plus 3 is equal to 0. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Now, notice, first of all, I did put a 0 over here on the right. You need to do that in order for this to work. Otherwise, no dice. So make sure that is there. Again, you've got A, B, and C. And start it off. Okay. By the way, this should be in your notes somewhere. Very important. You're going to use it a lot. At some point, you will memorize it through just sheer practice. I've got x equal to negative 5. Okay, this whole thing with the positive or negative sign there is going to be b. So it's negative 5 plus or minus the square root of negative 5 squared minus 4 times your a is 2 and your c is 3 over 2 times 2. Let's simplify this up a little bit. So, and let me change colors here just because, why not? So this negative 5 becomes 5 plus or minus the square root of negative 5 squared is 25. 4 times 2 is 8 times 3 is 24 over 2 times, oh, I should have put 2 there. 2 times 2 is just 4. Simplify a little bit more. Basically, you're left with 5 plus or minus the square root of 1, and since the square root of 1 is equal to 1, plus or minus 1 over 4. And this will yield us two solutions. you've either got 5 plus 1 over 4 or 5 minus 1 over 4. Okay, both are solutions. Both will work to solve, but we need to calculate these separately. So this would just be 6 over 4, which equals 3 over 2, and that's fine. You can leave it like that. Remember, fractions are our friends. They never did anything wrong to us. Okay, I don't know where they get the bad rep. 5 minus 1, it reduces to 4 over 4, which is just 1. There we go. So your solutions for this would just be x equals, it's a set here, 3 over 2, 1. That's it. That's it. All right. It is really all coming back to this formula here. Make sure that you've set that equal to 0, and also make sure that you're taking into account including the positive and negative signs. If this were a negative 3, then I would have to substitute a negative 3 in there for C. Okay, just don't forget those, and it's pretty cut and dry, I think. Bring in your questions, and think about this review. Continue to be awesome. Good day.